Okay, so histogram. So we've got 150 people in this survey. Let's work out how many of these 150 are between 50 and 55. All right, so they've made life hard, haven't they? So we need to find out what one small square is worth. Oh my god, I'm snotty. And then find out how many small squares there are in total. Right, so we are going to, so 10, so we've got 10, 15, 16, 17. So we've got 170 squares there. 10, 20, 36, 36 multiplied by 20 squares there. We've got 5 multiplied by 10, 49. Oh no, wait. 10, 20, 30, 44. That's lucky. And then we've got 15 multiplied by 10, 20 here. And 10 multiplied by 9. That's 90 there. Okay, so let's find out what these are. So what was it? 36 multiplied by 20, 36 20, 720, 44 multiplied by 5, it's 220, 15, so that's 300 there, and 90. So that's in total, we've got 170 plus 720 plus 220 plus 300 plus 90. So there's 1,500 squares. So 1,500 squares represents 150 people. So one square is going to be 0.1. Let's just 1/10 or 0.1. So one square is that, and so if this is 50 to 55 was 220 squares, so 220 multiplied by 0.1 or 1/10 is 22 people. Okay. Right, okay, prove algebraic the difference between squares of any two consecutive odd numbers is always a multiple of 8. Oh, this one was not a nice one, I have to say. So if we took any number as, let's say n, then the next, if that was an odd number, then the next one would be n plus 2. However, this would also work for even numbers. So the best way of making sure that they're odd is by saying that if we had n plus 1, again, that may not be an odd number. But if we had 2n plus 1, that has to be an odd number. Hopefully you see that. Because no matter what value of n we stick in here, multiplying it by 2 and adding 1 will make sure that the value is odd. That means that if that's one of my odd numbers, then the next consecutive one would be 2n plus 3. So these are the two values that we're looking at. So the difference between the squares of those, so we would have 2n plus 3 squared subtract 2n plus 1 squared. So we're going to FOIL this. Okay, perhaps I should have written out my 2 brackets to help you. So we've got 4n squared plus 6n plus 9, subtract 4n squared, subtract 4n, subtract 1. So that's gone. 6n subtract 4n is 2n, and 9 subtract 1 is 8. Oh, what am I doing here? This should be 12. 12n subtract 4n is 8n. Okay. So 8n subtract 8 can obviously be factorized, which means it has to be a multiple of 8. Okay. Oh, just spotted that should be a plus, by the way. 9 take away 1 is positive 8. Oh, Lord above. Either way, it's a multiple of 8 because of this number here. Alright, so using X to sketch the curve. On your sketch, show the points of intersection with coordinate axes and turning points. Alright, so coordinate axes means the X and the Y axis. So let's find those first of all. So where's it across the X axis when Y is 0? So the easiest thing to do is to try and factorize 2 to 4. So let's subtract 2. No, what am I doing? That's incorrect. Um, 1, 4. It's not a whole number, so I cannot find any of the numbers that multiply to give 4 and add to give negative 6. So we're going to use the formula. So x is positive 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. And remember, you can then just chuck that in your calc. So algebra, it's a polynomial, find the roots of a polynomial. So our values are 1, oops, negative 6, and 4. So we've got 0. How accurate do we need to be? 0.764, 0.764, and 5.24. So that's where it crosses the x-axis. It crosses the y-axis when x is 0, so that's at 4, because that's 0 squared, take away, oh, I should write it, 0 squared, take away 6, so 0 plus 4 gives us 4. Turning points, so the easiest way to find a turning point is to complete the square. Let's see if we remember that method. So completing the square, so that's where we focus on this. Oops, we're still in eraser mode. So we focus on these two. Halve this number, so we're going to change this to be x minus 3 all squared. But we then have to subtract whatever number this is squared, so we're going to subtract 9, and then the plus 4 is still sitting there. So that's x minus 3 all squared, subtract 5, which means that my turning point is at positive 3, negative 5. So at 3, negative 5 is where our turning point is. And I'm crossing at 0.764 and 5.24. So So 5.24 would be about there, and 0.7 would be about there, and it crosses here at 4. Here we go, there's our sketch. Okay, last one. The bearing of B from A is 105. Calculate the distance from... no, I don't think we need to draw this properly. So, B from A, so A. Bearing of B from A is 105. So, an angle of 105 in a clockwise direction takes us to B. And the distance, we don't know. The bearing of C from B is 230. So there's our north line. So 230 degrees would be going down this way. And that's C. So this is 230. Because it's measured in north in the clockwise direction. The distance of C from A is 180. So this is 180. The distance of C from B is 95. Calculate the distance from B from A. So we need to know this length here. Alright, so at the moment we've got these outside angles. In fact, knowing that these are both parallel means that we know that this one and this one add up to 180, which means that this one here has to be 75. And we also know that the whole thing here has to add up to 360. So 230 plus 75 is 305, which means this little bit here is 55. Right, so what else to know? So we either need to know this angle to find this missing length. So what we're better off doing is finding this missing angle here. So let's find this missing angle here, because we can say that sine of A over 95 is equal to sine of 55 over 180. So that's using the sine rule. Hopefully you remember the sine rule. I need to find the sine rule. Here, snip it. Okay, so the length over the sine, or remember it can be flipped up the other way. Alright, so that enables us to find sine of A is sine 55 over 180 multiplied by 95. And then A will be sine to the minus 1 of that answer. So sine 55 over 180 multiplied by 95. Sine 55 divided by 180 multiplied by 95 gives us that, and then inverse sine of answer gives us A is 29. Oh, I've lost it. 29.0278. Okay, it's best to keep it as accurate as possible here, if we can. Oh. I think I typed something in wrong. Oh, look what happened here. Ah. Let's do it this way. Sine 55 over 180 multiplied by 25, and then inverse sine the answer. Oops. So forget what I just wrote there. Oh. Let's snip it. So we don't have to keep writing it. Oh. Alright, so that's our answer there. So that's A. Then we've got this angle and this angle, so we can find this one. So 55 plus that, $25.61, and then 180. Subtract that. Gives us 90. Oh, let's snip it. I keep writing it. So that is going to be angle C, so ACB. So that's ACB is that angle there, which means that we can find length x. So we would say x over sine of 99.3845 is equal to 180 over sine 55. So x is equal to 180 over sine 55 multiplied by sine 99.3845. So 180 over a sine 55 multiplied by sine of 99. Oh, I can just put answer. Oh well. 0.3845 gives us 216.799. 216.799, and they want their answer to 3 sig fig, so that is 217.